Mark!
He's wired in.
Sorry?
He's wired in.
Is he?
Yes.
How about now? You still wired in?
Security.
You issued 24 million new shares of stock.
You were told that if new investors
How
came
much were
along,
your shares diluted? How much were his?
you signed the papers.
You set me up.
You're gonna blame me because you were the business head of the company and you made a bad business deal with your own company?
This is gonna be like I'm not a part of Facebook.
All right, let's talk about what's going on here. So two guys, Eduardo and Mark, start a company together. In this case, a company you've heard of, Facebook. They're co-founders. They might be 50-50. And then you take on some investors, so you are automatically dilute a little bit. Maybe they give those investors 40% of the company. They each now have 30% and 30%. If we had 100 shares, Eduardo's got 30 at this point. And then you bring on more investors. So in this case, it sounds like Mark issued tens of millions of shares. I'm not going to do that math live, but let's call it 100,000 new shares. So you go from 100 shares to 100,000, but he keeps Eduardo at 30. So Eduardo goes from 30% to 0.03%. But Mark gives himself and other investors tens of thousands of those 100,000 shares to keep their equity the same. They still have the exact same share. They weren't diluted in any way. Now, dilution is extremely common and it's legal. This happens all the time when you're doing new rounds of fundraising, bringing on new investors, issuing more shares. But doing it in a bad faith way that's targeted at one person, potentially deceitful, it sounds like he didn't know what was going on, that gets into potentially illegal.